Hi, it's Carmen. Welcome to my channel on living with rheumatoid arthritis. Today I'm going to talk about our most favorite topic, exercise. I'm kind of in a good space with my exercise right now, so it's a good time to do this little video. I had injured myself last summer, August through April. I was not able to do any exercise because I had injured my lower back and was having horrible sciatica down my leg. So I did engage in physical therapy the last couple months, and so I finally, the limp and the pain has gone away, and I've been making some new small goals to get back to exercising. I have found benefit from exercising with my condition, and I feel better, I feel more flexible, I feel that I am engaging in some activity that is good for me. I thought, you know, when I was still working part-time and I was exhausted and I thought I was gonna die, you know. I thought if I can just rest, if I could just rest all the time, I will feel so much better. But the fact was, I did stop working. I was able to rest as much as I needed to, and I still can as much as I need to, but I find actually laying around too much doesn't make me feel good. I mean, I still do it because sometimes that's just all I can do, but I do feel so much better when I can get in a little bit of exercise. I'm giving you some information from a study that was done at Stanford University, so I'll link that study. And it reported that all we need is 20 to 30 minutes of cardio 3 to 5 times a week, and 8 to 10 reps of a strengthening exercise 2 to 3 times a week, and that amount of exercise is really the ideal exercise for a normally healthy person or a chronically ill person or an elderly person. That really is the window where we're getting the most benefit. So I love that study because I wasn't an exerciser before I had rheumatoid, but I always had the impression that people that did exercise were they were on it, you know, 5 days a week, 2 hours after work, you know, or 2 hours in the morning before they came to work. And I've never been one of those people, but I still have that idea that that's how you're supposed to exercise. So I love this report that says really 20 to 30 minutes of cardio, which means we're getting our heart rate up a bit, and then the strengthening exercises. Exercising has many benefits, and once again, just keep in mind that I'm only talking about 20 to 30 minutes 3 to 5 times a week, and that's something we can work up to. We might start out just walking around the block one time, and that'll be our goal for 3 weeks. We're gonna do that maybe 3 times a week, walk around the block one time, and once we've accomplished that, we can increase it. Maybe walking is completely out for us if we're going through a period where our feet and ankles and hips and knees are the things that are bothering us really bad. Then we do, you know, some floor exercises where we're just stretching. You know, there's well, I'll explain some of the different exercises that we can do. But really with rheumatoid, I found that certain parts would be like my arms and wrists and hands would be really bad for a while. Then it would switch to my lower body. Then it, you know, was more my breathing, or, you know, my heart or my neck, or side effects, you know, that different things bother us more at different times. So we can keep kind of going back to a type of exercise that we enjoy that maybe we weren't able to do one year, and we can definitely do it the next year depending on what's happening with our illness. So we just keep all these things in our bag of tricks, and then, you know, we can turn towards them when we have a little energy and want to try to start a new exercise goal. So exercise, scientifically, I'll say exercise strengthens our cardiovascular system, which is really important for RA people because cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of RA persons. So it strengthens cardiovascular, it gives us more endurance and stamina, so we can actually maybe go to a home and garden show with our friend. Maybe. I mean, that's a huge thing to get into one of those big, huge event domes and try to walk around. It's kind of impossible, but I'm just saying we can increase our endurance and our stamina by exercising. We can increase our flexibility so that when, you know, we do simple things like laundry or make our bed, we don't suffer afterwards or the next day because we are exercising a bit and we have more flexibility and more strength. So it really helps to be able to just do daily chores if we're exercising, because we can build up some flexibility. Helps us maintain a good weight, or possibly lose weight if that's a goal for us. It helps us sleep better when we get some exercise. Sleeping is really tough with RA, and because of pain, because of being overly tired, because of being mentally stimulated but not being physically enough active so we're awake. So exercise really helps for sleeping. Helps us with our balance and coordination, which is good. As anybody ages or anyone with chronic illness isn't moving around a lot, our core strength just starts to weaken and it's hard to get up out of the car, or, you know. So balance is important. Falls are not good. You don't want to break a bone or sprain something. It takes so much longer to heal with RA. So exercising definitely increases our core strength and our balance. It's really good for our brain, okay? I read that it's the #1 thing that we can do for our brain if we feel like, you know, we're having dementia or just not as quick as we used to be, and maybe it's our medication, and maybe it's just, you know, we're not working and stimulated. And I've heard it more than once. I love to watch educational videos like from UC Davis Medical Center, and they say that exercise is the very best thing that you can do for the brain. So it's not really doing those little games online that stimulate your brain. It's exercise, that because it gets blood up into the brain, and so that's a good motivator for me. It reduces anxiety and depression. I think maybe it does, for me, reduces that because I feel like have some small control over my body and what I'm doing, even if it's the smallest thing. If I swim for 15 minutes, I feel that I have taken some control over my illness, and being in control helps me feel less anxious and less depressed. So, and it improves our ability to be social. If we're exercising, we have a little more energy and we can get out a bit more, and it really does improve our quality of life altogether. So for me, exercise and me are always at the beginning. We're always starting at the beginning. I'll do something, you know, 2 or 3 times, then I'll have a huge flare-up and I can't do it, or, you know, I'm always starting at the beginning. And I'm having an easier time with that. This idea of accomplishing something or getting up to a certain amount of time that I'm going to exercise, or a certain, you know, quality of exercise that I'm going to do. Now it's just, if I get out and do a little, I'm happy with it. So I wanted to tell you some of the types of exercise that I've been able to do that you might have success with, because there's many types that really are really difficult. I know when my first few years of rheumatoid, people would say, oh, yoga, anybody can do yoga. Yoga is great, it's so gentle. Yoga was horrible for me. I mean, I did try to do yoga, and I did the beginning class over and over, but putting the pressure on the joints, on the ankles and on the wrists, a lot of positions you're having to have a right angle with your wrist is impossible. I was torturing myself with it, because I had in my mind too, oh, it's gentle, you should be able to do it. Well, no, I couldn't. It wasn't the best exercise for me at all. And so that was out. Walking for me, very difficult walking, because the ankles and my feet just hurt, and then my hips would start hurting fairly quickly. So walking hasn't been good for me. I got a really nice bike at one point. I thought, I can ride a bike. And I got a type of bike where I wasn't leaning over onto my wrists. I was sitting up fairly straight, so it was really a lower body thing. But I couldn't do that either. I mean, I would take the bike out to a trail that was very smooth and didn't have, I didn't have to negotiate the ground. I just could focus on pedaling, but it would hurt. My knees would start to really ache, and my hips and my wrists, even though it was a sit-up type position. So that kind of had to go. I kept on going back for swimming, and for me, swimming has been the #1 thing that I can do. In the earlier years, I could go pretty much to any pool. Warmer pools are better, and you can call around and ask the temperature of the pool. And I'm sorry I didn't get the temperature that I really like to have, so I could have told you that, but I'll put it down below. I'll find out, because it makes such a huge difference. You're aching and don't really feel good if you can just get in the water and it's warm and nice. You don't really have to even exercise that much. You just get yourself in the water. And then the next step might be to do, some paddling around, or to take a water aerobics class that is for either elderly or injured people, and that works out pretty good. Some of the, you'd be surprised that you don't think there's any pools in your town, but usually through your city parks and rec, your county parks and rec will have pools. They use in the evening, maybe the high school pools. The YMCAs usually have a pool, and YMCAs also have a specific arthritis program. A lot of times they'll have that program for people. So you can check into that, and also the YMCA is on a sliding scale. If you don't have any money, you don't have to pay when you go to the YMCA. Even, I'm not sure on the Parks and Rec programs, but I imagine if it's a city, county, you could also get a discount. Colleges often have pools, and they have open public times that you can go. So lots of places that there's pools that you might not think of. Right now I'm going to a saline pool, which is really awesome. I'm going to a hydrotherapy class, which is kind of made for people with injuries, but for me, it works. I'm only doing, 20 minutes now. I'm just getting back to swimming, like I said, after my back injury. So I'm feeling pretty happy just once a week to even get there for a half an hour. The saline is so much nicer because it doesn't have all the chlorine. And I did have a problem. I had to stop swimming because the chlorine, I was getting so sensitive to the chlorine. My skin would just burn, and it would keep me awake at night, And I did hear of a product called Body Glove, which is some kind of solution that you can wipe onto your face in any areas that are super sensitive, and it blocks, it puts a barrier between your skin and the chlorine, and then it washes off easily with soap afterwards. But I never did. I got so sensitive that I didn't end up even trying the product. And I stopped swimming for, it's probably been 4 or 5 years, and now that I was on the wait list for the saline pool, and I've finally gotten in there, and so that's what I do. It's 3 times a week for an hour, but like I said, I'm going for 20 minutes right now. Also, I bought some aqua shoes. They look like tennis shoes, but they're super light. And that has really helped me be able to do aerobics in the pool without my ankles hurting or my feet going numb. So I definitely recommend getting shoes if you're going to be in the pool. There are some other great programs too. While I wasn't able to swim, I was doing Silver Sneakers, which is a well-studied and developed program for seniors, and the federal government, you know, Medicare programs, you can go to these Silver Sneaker aerobics classes for free or for $2. A lot of times they're offered at senior centers or at medical facilities that have enough space. You can look up Silver Sneakers online and put in your location and it will tell you. But Silver Sneakers is great, and if it is a senior program, you can simply go and talk to the reception or administrative people and tell them that you have a disability. I'm saying that whether you have, you know, a true disability already, or, you know, federally recognized disability, or if you just have illness and you can say you have a disability, can you join in the class? They will, if they have room, they will always let you be in the class. It's a little bit awkward if you're younger. Sometimes people, elderly, will feel crowded in on, you know, in their own little program. But once they understand that you have a condition, it goes just fine. So I was doing that at the senior center for about a year, and that was a sit in a chair type exercise program, a little bit of standing up and holding on to your chair exercise, but it was great, you know. I thought it was so easy the first class. I couldn't go back for 2 weeks. I was so sore. So I learned how to take it really, really slow, just tiny little steps, and so I was able to stick with that program for a while. There's also a program called Sit and Be Fit, and you can look that up online. I'll put the link too. But that is, I believe you have to pay to watch those videos and do those videos. And there's so much stuff for free that I wouldn't pay $10 to record an episode of that. You can get, you know, DVDs from the library for arthritis, gentle arthritis, chair exercises. I might even do like a half-hour video for you so that you don't have to buy anything or go to the library to find anything, because I did get a DVD from the Arthritis Foundation one year. I was a member 1 year and I got that DVD, and they don't offer it anymore, but it's a good DVD, and yeah, I might record that for you. We'll see. There's Enhanced Fitness is another program that's federally supported, and I'll put a link for that so you can see if there's anything like that in your town. And then Silver Sneakers also has a Silver Sneakers Splash program. So when you look up Silver Sneakers, if it sounds really nice to you to swim rather than to be doing chair exercises, then they have developed a splash program, which is great. So I'll put links to all those different programs so that you can look and see if they're in your city. What I did want to make clear in summarizing this is that the programs that I've mentioned, the Enhanced Fitness, the Silver Sneakers, Sit and Be Fit, and Silver Splash, the YMCA arthritis swim program, those are all evidence-based exercise programs. So they are specifically made to do both the cardio and the strengthening for people that have some compromises, and so they're great programs, and that's why I recommend them. And I'm going to put the links for all those programs down below so that you can search and see if you find it in your location, and I hope that you do. Also, again, just want to say that 20 to 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week, and that's a huge goal. So starting with a small goal, like just even, you know, calling and finding out about the exercise stuff. then going and getting a swimsuit, then, you know, getting yourself to the pool just to test out the water. I mean, it's a process. It takes a while. It might be a month before you would even be actually in a swim program. So it takes more time, takes more determination when you aren't feeling well to get these things started, but it's well worth it. And I would love if you could find a buddy too. That would be so great. That hasn't happened with me, but luckily I have had programs that are really close to home, and so in that way it's a little easier for me because I can get ready and in 10 minutes I'm where I need to be and do the program. So I think that's it. Like I said, I got interrupted right at the end of this video, and now I don't remember what I said and what I didn't say. So just in closing again, as I always try to mention, is be very kind to yourself, take yourself by the hand and be your own friend, and try to start some kind of exercise program. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.